Sunday, 12 midday Eastern Time, the New Zealand Warriors host the St George Illawarra Dragons at Mount Smart Stadium. In for the Warriors, Albert Vete, Jazz Tavanga and Sean Lane. Out, Ali Sao and Simon Mannering and Tumaloa Lalahia through injury.
All right, Warriors copping a massive defeat last week against Melbourne. The Dragons, they were all but. I think they're coming good. I think they're starting to gel together. I think their forwards are starting to stand up, which is the biggest play against them. I like their forwards at the start of the year. They've let me down so far, but I think they're just starting to understand the play and how they need to work under Mary. Yeah. I think they're doing well. Warriors missing some big names.
There's a lot of people out there for the Warriors. I've heard whispers of them scaring the streets just to have an opposed training run during the week, basically.
Yeah.
Fussatua obviously moves into fullback. It doesn't seem to matter how many players they're short. That poor old Connie's on the way out. A little bit of a tweet that popped up during the week, I believe. Sorry, no, it wasn't a tweet, it was Instagram, regarding that the Titans deal was still alive, which he then very promptly deleted after his manager noticed that one, I believe.
Yep.
But yeah, they're really struggling for numbers. They've got a lot of names out. Fortunately for them, Mannering didn't break his jaw, it appears, so he'll only be out for a week or two, which is obviously a huge plus, but they're really lacking this week. The Dragons, on the other hand, I can see what you're saying, they're definitely gelling, but I have some real concerns when they've put together their best performance of the year and managed to score the most points they've scored all season in 20 points. 20 points just isn't enough to win games consistently. You have a look at the sides, your Brisbanes, your North Queenslands, etc. You've got to be scoring, 30 is probably your cut-off mark. And while it doesn't sound like a lot between 20 and 30, when they're averaging about 8 points a game, 8 to 9 points a game, they're a long way from that 30. They need to be up averaging 24, 26 and peaking in the 30s and 40s. They're not there at the moment. Fortunately for them this week, they travel over to New Zealand to face a really wounded side. I think they're going to get it done. I don't think it's going to be very pretty over there. I would suggest if the under-overs, anything, sort of 36 or above, get on the unders, not quite your house, but put plenty on it. But yeah, I'm certainly going to go to Dragons 1-12 in a tight one here.
Yeah, pretty uninventive again. I think the Dragons will be too strong for the Warriors. I don't think, like you said, the scoring capability, they've got it in enough. So I'm just going to keep them 1-12.
Yeah, awesome. Just keep an eye out, two guys that go off the bench for the Warriors. Jazz Tavanga could be a big thing in the future. Only a young guy, and I'm looking for big things from him coming forward. Sunday, 2 p.m, the Gold Coast Titans host the Melbourne Storm at Seabus Super Stadium. Titans line up 1-17 as per last week, while Melbourne welcome in Felice Kafusi on an extended bench. All right, well, the Titans have sort of pieced together sides week to week. I can't remember too many weeks where they haven't had, one or more changes. They've had Greg Bird out for times. They seem to be down a half every week. It just seems like they can't get them all on the paddock at the moment. Cameron Cullen and Roberts have been named this week. Ash Taylor's a chance to come in. In saying that, with what they've pieced together, their forwards have been really impressive. Their backs have done a job. They've been in pretty much every game. From memory, I can't remember them getting beat by much more than sort of 8 points when you go back to that Brisbane game and then the initial game when they played Melbourne earlier in the year.
Yeah.
And even that Melbourne game, Melbourne scored a couple of late tries, and certainly the full-time scoreline didn't reflect for me how the game played out. They've been, sort of unlucky for me not to, chalk to the other couple of wins. Many will put it down to, not luck, just not the ability to close out close games, which comes with inexperience.
Yep.
And something they certainly need to work on. I think coaching staff will be reasonably happy with where they're sitting, but probably a little bit frustrated they haven't grabbed another 2 or 4 points to push them right up there and be in contention with some of those other sides.
Yeah, I think, like you said, they've had some really great players. Cullen is just, playing some great rugby. McDonald out in the flank series, just playing some solid rugby. He's quick as they can get.
Mate, he reminds me a lot of Marcus Bye that used to play for Melbourne, another PNG international, just runs hard, runs strong, and geez, he's quick and change of direction quick too.
Yeah, definitely. Melbourne had a big win last week, but I mean, it was against a terrible side and one of the worst, takings I've seen of New Zealand. So I don't think that really reflected how good Melbourne did play last week. I think, they did enough to get a good solid win out, but I still have some suspects against them. I just don't think they've got the flair in the on the flanks. A couple of good wingers, but the centres I think are letting me down. I don't think Cronk's working that well with Green in the halves, and I don't think their forwards are getting as much forward movement as they can. And Smith can't work off the back of not quite forward. So I think the Titans are going to be really strong in this game. I think they're going to come up against a Melbourne side which will be too structured. They'll throw a bit of ball around. I think the Titans will be too good, so I'm going to go an upset here and go Titans 1-12.
Wow. I definitely agree with what you're saying about the Storm. I've been impressed with what Blake Green's done this year. He's picked up from probably being a 35% ball player last year to probably being a 70% ball player this year. I'm not sure what's going on with Cooper Cronk, and I just hope that next week's test gets him going, because it doesn't seem like anything else. It seems like he's disinterested. Seems like he's got a bit of GI syndrome going on.
Yep.
Smith, as you say, he's not quite at his best. I think he might be carrying a couple of bumps and bruises, but he's a tough old warhorse. Been really impressed with Suliasu Vunivalu. 4 tries from 2 games, not a bad debut.
Yep.
As you say, their centres are sort of, I think the biggest issue with their centres has been so much chop and change. Young Tonamapia has been named in there. He's not really a centre. Richie Kennard played there. Ben Hampton. You've had so many changes through there, and they've had Tohu Harris play in there. There's been a couple of other forwards that have been pushed in there as well, and it looks like Tonamapia is probably going to be a late scratching again this week, which is going to mean another reshuffle. I've just got faith that they did kick up a gear last week. I think they'll get this one done. It'll be a grind out. I'm going to go the Storm 1-12. I don't think they'll blow it away, but equally so, if Roberts and Taylor play together, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Titans get it done. But I'll put my bucks on the Storm 1-12. Final Sunday match of the round, the Cronulla Sharks host the Brisbane Broncos at Shark Park. Sharks line at the same 1-17 as last week. Broncos, on the other hand, they welcome in Alex Glennon, Travis Waddell, Andrew McCulloch out with injury, and Herman Assese returns to Queensland Cup.
All right, I think this will be the game of the round. Good way to finish on a Sunday. Sharks against the Broncos, both really informed teams. Both got 5 wins on the trot, which, I don't like tipping for a team that's got 5 wins on the trot, but unfortunately I'm going to get one of the 2.
Them,
exactly, but I think the Sharks are playing some great rugby. They got out of the win out last week, where I really was thinking they were going to lose that one. I thought the Panthers played some pretty great rugby in between the half-time and the 60th minute, but they just died a bit, and that's where I think the Sharks have been going well. They've got the fitness this year. They're finishing off games. Previous years, they're known to have a choke, and that's what I hate about them, but they seem to be finishing the games this year.
Yeah, they've certainly been impressive, and looking like a strong unit. They're playing as a team rather than individuals, which I think's hurt them in years gone by, where they've sort of relied on 1 or 2 blokes and just sort of gone, he'll do that, they'll do that. The Broncos, they've been red hot. Certainly been really impressive. They dismantled the Rabbits quite easily on the weekend. The only thing, obviously, McCulloch, a big out, just a consistent player. He doesn't do anything too flashy, but he just grinds through a lot of work. He's replaced Nicarima, who's a different sort of player, and that's worked with the balance. Be interesting to see how that goes now when they're going to reverse that balance. They've got an experience, again, pretty steady hand in Travis Waddell, former Raider, former Knight, who's playing off the bench now. Plenty of experience, which is a massive positive. It's not often you can draw on that much experience and bring him onto your bench. But it'll be interesting to see how that flip around does with the more sort of dynamic hooker coming in, whether that changes their pace, and I think that might affect them a little bit. The Sharks, look, they're building really well. I couldn't tell you the last time they won 5 games. I'm going to take a punt and say it was probably 98, 99 whenever they won the minor premiership.
Yeah, definitely 99. But they haven't had a stretch like that for a while. Yeah,
and it's great to see them. I think, when Cronulla is strong, it's good for the competition. So it's good to see it starting to turn around a little bit, and good to see them and Parramatta mixing it with those top sides. I just don't know whether they've got what it takes to take on this Broncos outfit. I don't know whether anyone does, even the Cowboys. These Broncos just seem to be getting stronger and stronger. I think they're a better side than they were a few weeks ago when they beat the Cowboys. The only game they've lost this year was by 1 point, and that was pretty much where they slept through for 30 minutes. So I can't see another result. I think it's going to be pretty physical. There's 2 good forward packs going at each other. A few blokes with a point to prove coming into the representative period. So for me, I'm going to go the Broncos to get this done in a close one, 1-12.
Yeah, I'm going to lead a little bit more with my heart. I'm actually looking forward to the game on the edges there, to have Robertson Co versus Holmes and Bird. I mean, that's going to be a spectacle to watch in itself. Some of the speed and young talent there, it's just unbelievable. So looking forward to that one. I think the Sharks will be too good at home. Late on a Sunday, I think they've got a pretty good record on Sundays. So I've got them going just tight. I think they might just match it in the forwards against the Broncos might. So I'm going to go the Sharks 1-12.
All right, thanks guys for tuning in to another week of the NRL previews. As always, good luck for the weekend. Remember to have a look at our website, www.primacsports.com, for a little bit more content that we're putting out there. Check out our YouTube channel and also our Snapchats that are here below. Also, have a scroll down in the feed. We're actually giving away 6 weeks of our premium tips at the moment, so if you want to have a look at that, they will be looking at about $20 to $30 a month. You'll probably be looking at there, so you're getting about $50 worth of value free, so it's certainly a good little offer there that we've got at the moment for the next couple of weeks to celebrate turning 6 months old. Good luck on the punt this weekend. Enjoy the footy. There's some cracking games. Go the Raiders, and thanks again.